Forget iPhone 17, because the iPhone 18 Pro could have this much-anticipated Face ID function. Not officially, but we haven't seen the iPhone 17. Already, however, we have been hearing stories about what the iPhone 18 may provide next year. The most recent information indicates that one long-running rumor could finally come true on iPhone 18 Pro. Display expert Ross Young, who has a good track record with display-related leaks, says the iPhone 18 Pro could include an under-display Face ID technology. A recent Young tweet claims OTI Lumionics CEO Michael Helander said they expect phones with under-panel Face ID using their materials to be available for sale in 2026. Young said this implies under-display Face ID may be coming to iPhone 18 Pro, followed by other devices in the future. We have received tales about this far from the first time. A leak from the information earlier Apple month that under-display Face ID was coming to iPhone 18 Pro. While a digital chat station, another rumor said iPhone 18 Pro series would include under-display camera technology. It's unclear if they included Face ID as camera tech, but either way it would imply somewhat more area on the display. While Face ID tech might be missing by next year, rumor is that Apple aims to go much farther. The 20th anniversary iPhone 20 is rumored to sport a full-screen edge-to-edge display with absolutely no cuts, notches, pills, or otherwise to speak of. If the iPhone X was anything to go by, the iPhone 20 will likely set the prototype for future flagship iPhones coming ahead. So although the iPhone 18 may still feature a hole punch for the selfie camera, the speculations say it won't be hanging around for much longer either. I only hope that Apple can find out how to make an under-display camera work without losing too much on quality. While the disguised selfie cameras are nothing new, the fact they're not near to being as good as an exposed camera has always been a concern. If Apple can nail it, then it might usher in a whole new age of full-screen phones. Apple is likely to introduce the iPhone 17 series in September with considerable enhancements. From display changes to camera and processor improvements, the iPhone 17 series might be the most transformational update in years. A 120Hz ProMotion display is anticipated to be included throughout the iPhone 17 series, including the basic and Air variants. This update might eventually deliver crisper graphics and perhaps open the option of always-on display for non-Pro iPhones. The iPhone 17 is reported to sport a 6.3-inch display, replacing the existing 6.1-inch screen. Similarly, the iPhone 17 Pro Max may boast a gigantic 6.9-inch screen, allowing customers a greater viewing experience across the board. Apple is apparently replacing the square camera hump on the Pro versions with a rectangular shape. This new arrangement is believed to increase aesthetics and differentiate the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max from older versions. All variants in the iPhone 17 series might come with a 24 megapixels front-facing camera and a 6-element lens. This upgrade should enable better selfies and clearer video calls, notably benefiting content makers and FaceTime users. According to speculations, Apple may deploy its in-house 5G modem in the iPhone 17 Air, removing Qualcomm's processors. While mmWave functionality could be eliminated, download rates might potentially reach up to 4 GB per second. Apple is anticipated to transition from titanium to aluminium for the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. The change is aimed at decreasing weight and expense while supporting Apple's 2030 carbon-neutral ambitions with more sustainable materials. Next, the iOS 19 could make connecting to public Wi-Fi even quicker, but there are still problems to be wary of. We've all been there. You're sitting in a coffee shop frantically trying to do some work, but your 4G is simply excruciatingly sluggish. Thankfully, this business provides public Wi-Fi, but you really don't want to type your name and email on all your devices to connect them all one by one. Thankfully, Apple evidently promises to make this simpler with iOS 19. Mark Gurman claims in his Power on email that iOS 19 might allow cross-device synchronization for Wi-Fi access gateways. This would imply that, rather than having to fill out your information every time on each device, the phone would allow you to connect only once and connect to the Wi-Fi on any Apple devices you have on you. In principle, this is a fantastic time saving, but it's important being aware of some of the hazards that come from public Wi-Fi and why you may not want to connect so rapidly in order to keep your phone secure. When it comes to security, there are a few of reasons to be wary of any public Wi-Fi. The first, and most apparent, is that they're seldom encrypted. Anyone who is attempting to read what you're transmitting is going to have a lot simpler time of it if your data is being delivered as plain text. Meanwhile, your cellular connection, meaning 4G or 5G, is encrypted and hence considerably tougher to hack into. The second issue to be wary of is something called a man-in-the-middle attack. This is when someone portrays their device as a genuine server that serves as a middleman between your phone and the Wi-Fi network. This enables them to read or update your data with you being none the wiser. Alternatively, occasionally they could use their device to establish a new Wi-Fi hotspot with the same name as the public Wi-Fi, to which you then join all your devices, allowing them complete access to do as they like. Now, all of this might be fairly daunting, and you may question why you would ever use a public Wi-Fi at all. The difficulty is that in certain cases, there really is no alternative. For instance, if you're in a region with little to no coverage, or you don't want to pay for extra mobile data, or use up your contract's restricted allocation. Thankfully, there are some things you can take to protect yourself from any possible assaults if you need to utilize a public network. Firstly, be aware of any public Wi-Fi that either has a generic name or no password. While not particular to public Wi-Fi safety, it's also vital that you maintain your iPhone up to date, since they contain security updates to guard against newly detected threats. What else is coming with iOS 19? While this supposed iOS 19 update may not be for everyone, and is presumably one that we can turn off, it isn't the only change purportedly coming. We predict that iOS 19 will offer a multitude of new features, as well as Apple Intelligence upgrades. For instance, the upgrade might enable additional applications to take use of Apple Intelligence. We've also heard that Apple aims to freshen up the design of its software with the upgrade. According to speculations, the upgrade would feature new styles for icons, menus, applications, windows, and even buttons seen in the operating system. There are also suggestions that the search bar on your iPhone might move from the top of the screen to the bottom in iOS 19. However, these speculations have been questioned by certain sources, who suggest that the mockups aren't representative of what we'll see when the update is published. However, we won't know anything for sure until Apple introduces the upgrade, which will likely come at the next Worldwide Developers Conferences, which is taking place the week of June 9. If cross-device synchronization for Wi-Fi access portals does come as part of the update, and it seems plausible given the source, then perhaps you're now prepared to be as secure as possible once you start utilizing it. Finally, the Apple iPhone 17 Air promises curious design change, new leak says. When this fall's iPhones are introduced, there's one that's garnering a lot of hype. That variant, codenamed iPhone 17 Air, will be super slim, as low as 5.5mm thick. But a fresh mock-up has surfaced, which reveals an unusual modification of the USB-C port. Here's why it's so odd, because it comes at a time when curiosity in the new phone is surging, and there's already a story on later iPhone Air variants. Let's start with that. Respected analyst Ming-Che Kuo from TFI Securities has produced a calendar of iPhones, as he sees them, from now to the second half of 2027. There are other fascinating specifics, but here we'll concentrate to what it implies for the Air versions, or iPhone 17 Slim, as Kuo puts it. Then, in the second half of 2026, with various iPhone 18 phones, there will be the iPhone 18 Slim. So far, so expected, but it's nice to note that Kuo expects the Air will be an annual release, not a less regular one like the SE used to be, for instance. But when we come to what Kuo called 2H27, the statement is different. iPhone 19 Air with a larger display versus 18 Air is how Kuo defines that year's release. Apple often employs the same design 2 years running, so the possibility that Apple is already preparing a third Air with a larger screen would appeal to many. If it lives up to the hype it has already aroused before it has even officially been recognized. Back to that design update with a perhaps unattractive alteration to the USB-C port and its surrounding antenna band. Previous rumors regarding the 17 Air have been optimistic, such as higher performance than anticipated, indications about new colors, and how its thinness relative to the rest of the range might be exceptional. The newest dummies being presented by leakers, such as this one provided in a video by Apple Track, are extraordinarily detailed. The video compares the dummy of the 17 Air to the existing iPhone 16 Pro, and the difference in thickness is significant, and the gap will be considerably more obvious if reports about the iPhone 17 Pro Max design prove accurate. But the expense of that 5.5mm sleek design might come at the sacrifice of symmetry on the base of the phone. That's because, as noted out by McRumors, achieving this level of thinness is unlikely to come without compromise. Dummy models show that Apple has made some small modifications to fit internal components in the narrower chassis. Most noticeably, the USB-C connector on the bottom edge is no longer positioned front to back, it points out. The mock-up appears to suggest the socket is closer to the back of the gadget than the front, which is likely to accommodate display components within the enclosure, the article alleges. Look carefully inside the USB-C port and the core piece around which the hollow USB-C connection wraps when you insert it in looks to be a bit off-center, too, sitting lower than the middle. 2 holes implies the speaker may not be as powerful as it is on previous iPhones, but we'll have to see. Note that the iPhone 17 Air is rumored to dispense with the SIM card tray as well, which would be the first iPhone sold outside the US intended for eSIM exclusively. So, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tech news and updates. See you, and goodbye.